moment. And while we're in the present moment, we have those things. We have safety, we have predictability, and we have control. And those are the founding principles, some of the founding principles, rather, that Veterans Yoga Project teaches to our community. So with that being said, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be going through a bit of a different kind of yoga vinyasa practice today. Okay, so we'll feel a bit of our nervous system getting shaken up a bit, right? And then we'll start to find ourselves in a quiet moment, right? So we'll mimic a little bit of what happens when we get aroused in this stressful state. And then we'll start to feel ourselves kind of coming out of it. Right? So what happens after we're in that stressful state, right? We want to kind of shake it out, or do we want to avoid it? Or do we want to run away from it? And then we'll start to learn through our yoga practice, how do we reground ourselves? How do we start to trust ourselves again? Maybe even reach out and ask for help. Okay. And then once we do that, then we can start to learn to breathe and, start to encounter different obstacles and just begin to grow and move throughout life again. So again, at any time, you can take a rest and work within your limitations. And great, I hope we have a great time today. And like I said, we will be using a chair or couch or a bed. And I also have blocks. So, all right. Please look up at the screen if you ever need to see what I'm doing. So from here, let's go ahead and lay back on our back and our mat. You'll have your soles of your feet on your mat. They'll be about hip width distance so that the knees come in towards one another. And then place both hands on your belly. And so the fingertips can touch one another. And go ahead and make any fidgeting that's necessary. Maybe pick up the head and lift up the upper back, press down the back of the head, just getting a bit more relaxed here. And notice if the chin's pointing up towards the ceiling, and try and bring that more in line with the chest. And as you're looking up towards the ceiling or the sky, feel free to close the eyes if that's within your practice as we begin to just get centered here. Begin to notice any sounds that you're picking up within your space. Remembering that as we're in these stressful situations, we become highly alert to the sounds both within our space, and maybe you notice sounds outside the room, or maybe even through my camera, through my microphone. Begin to notice the temperature on your skin. Maybe the wind blowing in through the window, or if you're outside, the sun beaming down on your skin. Notice any smells that are lingering, or any tastes that are resonating from maybe that last sip of tea or coffee. And then begin to notice the sensations now in the physical body as you've come into stillness here. Noticing any sensations, any tingling, maybe you have a itch, feel free to scratch it. Just simply make note, like a checklist. Not labeling anything good, bad, right, wrong, pain, or pleasure. Notice the support that's beneath you. Now that we've been drawn into our senses, the body, our vessel, let's take a short breath practice, 3-part breath. So beginning to draw our breath now in through the nostrils, all the way down to the belly. Inhale. On the exhale, draw the belly back down to the spine. Inhale as you draw the breath all the way down to the belly. Fill up the belly. Exhale as the breath comes back out and down and out the nostrils. Again, 2 more times on your own, really bringing the breath all the way down to the belly, filling the belly up. The hands expand out with the belly. On the exhale, the hands draw back down. Maybe you feel the lower back into your back. Continue 1 more breath here, expanding the belly out. Exhaling and feeling maybe the lower back into the mat. But this time on the inhale, begin to draw the hands up on the sides of the rib cage. So maybe the fingertips touch, or feel free to even widen the hands out a bit more. And just allow the palm of the hands to be along the sides of the rib cage. And then on your inhale, drawing the breath in through the nostrils, expanding the rib cage out. On the exhale, feeling the rib cage come back in towards that chest cavity. Again, on the inhale, noticing the ribs separate out. So here we are, really dividing up the breath here, manipulating this breath. So 4 more times on your own, taking your own time. You're in charge here. Drawing the breath into the space in the rib cage, expanding the ribs out. On the exhale, drawing the ribs back together, knitting the ribs together. A couple more times on your own. Good. This time, begin to draw the fingertips up to the collarbones, the clavicles, and then the arms drape over the chest. So on your inhale this time, draw the breath into the chest, lifting the arms up as the breath comes into that chest cavity. And on the exhale, maybe you just feel the entire chest coming back down towards the back body. Continue to do this for about 4 more breaths. And so it's here, this is where we breathe in our chest when we're in that fight, flight, or freeze state, when we're in that state of stress. Generally speaking, where maybe most of us breathe that don't have this practice of the breath. Keep breathing, drawing deep breaths into the chest. Exhaling as you squeeze out all that breath in the chest. 1 more time here. Good, and then you can allow the arms now to go along the side body. Palms face down is more grounding, or palms face up to receive, your choice, whatever you'd like. And then if the eyes are closed, you can leave them closed. Eyes can remain open if you'd like to. We'll just set an intention here for our practice. As I mentioned, just to stay here, remembering that whatever those sensations are that maybe prompt you to run away or avoid or freeze, remember those stories or those sensations of discomfort usually only last about 90 seconds. So from here, let's begin to lift our heels up and rock our heels back and forth. And so you can go back and forth from lifting your heels and your balls of your feet. And so if you want, of course, you can always look up at me. So knees come away from each other and you just go back and forth, rock your heels and the balls of your feet up and down. Yeah. And then maybe you begin to stop your feet. Stomp, stomp. Yeah, like you're having a tantrum, and then maybe you stomp them up and down one at a time. They're asymmetrical now, and then you can stop. And then notice all the vibration through the body. Yeah, right? So here we have this vibration moving through the body, and then windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And then from here, begin to bring the knees in towards the chest. And then you can rock them from side to side. Arms can still stay alongside the body. And then if you like, you can bring the hands behind the thighs and then extend the legs up, looking at your toes, flex and point the feet, flex and point the feet, maybe even rotate the feet around the ankles and then change the direction. And then begin to just like tantrum, like you're having a tantrum with your legs. Move the legs up and down, shake them around really fast, and then stop and move your feet back to the ground. Soles of the feet on the ground. Stop, pause. Notice the sensations through the body, the vibrations, the energy. Notice the breath. Maybe the breath is moving a bit faster. Maybe the heartbeat's beating faster. And then go to windshield wiping the legs from side to side. And then from here, with the knees pointed up towards the ceiling, let's take a side stretch. So allow the knees to come over towards the right, extend the arms out from the shoulders, and then allow the head to turn over towards the left. And then let's draw the right hand over towards the left side of the body. And then from here, we're just going to take these natural kind of twists. So it may seem a little awkward, right? But very slowly, windshield wiper the legs from side to side, and you'll do the same with your arms. And if you end up taking the knees and the arms in the same direction, that's okay. Just find a movement that works for you, and then maybe make it a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit faster. Maybe you stay slow. We'll just do this 2 more times. And then pause wherever you're at. Feel the sensation. Maybe there's a little buzzing. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's different. And then bring the soles of the feet on your mat. Inhale here. On the exhale, bring the knees in towards the chest, and then draw the arms either around the thighs or the shins. Begin to rock from side to side. And then let's have a little bit of fun, and let's begin to rock up and down. Up and down, and then let's see if we can come into boat pose. Yeah. So come into boat pose, right? So we ground down with our sits bones. Draw the arms. Good. Take a smile. Good. Pause. And then if you'd like, begin to extend the legs out. Point the toes, right? So here we are, right? And when you're struggling, sometimes it feels like no one understands you and you're all alone on an island, right? You're in that boat and it's wobbly. You never know if you're gonna sink or stay afloat. Keep breathing, right? Draw the belly in towards the spine. Draw the chest forward. Inhale. On the exhale, bring the feet down. Hands come by the side. Good. Let's turn over and let's come into tabletop and then bring the big toes together. Send the seat back to the heels for child's pose. Extend the arms nice and long. Good. From here, begin to extend the arms nice and long. Separate the fingers, press down through the hands. The elbows are lifted here in child's pose. On your inhale, tense your hands so that you're on your fingertips, and then begin to walk your hands over to the right side. We're taking a side stretch here. When you come to where you walk, you can't walk any further, then just walk your hands back to the right knees, and then draw your body up a little bit, tuck your belly in, and then begin to lay the body back down, trying to get that left lung onto the right thigh. Extend your arms out, and then maybe put the right hand on top of the left hand. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale here. Exhale out. One more full breath here. Inhale. Exhale out. Begin to uncross the hands and then just begin to walk back through the center over to the left side of the body. And just as we did before, when you reach where you can't go any further on the left, walk back to the body, tuck the belly in, and then try your best to bring that right side of the body onto the left thigh, and then extend the arms back out. And you can place the left hand on top of the right. We'll take 5 breaths here. And so as we at times go through stressful situations, we isolate, we stay drawn in, much like this posture here in child's pose. We curl in, we sink our shoulders down, but feel your shoulder blades into the chest. Lengthen across the collarbones. Yeah, as you press down through the hands, notice that connection with the hands and the scapula. Begin to uncross the hands and then walk the hands back towards the center. Press down through the hands. Inhale as you come into your tabletop here. Let's begin to go through some cat-cows here. So press down through the hands. On your exhale, begin to come into cat, around the spine. Inhale as you begin to lift the head and the chest, curl the toes. Exhale, begin to round the spine, draw the belly in, begin to go through cat-cows on your own. Maybe you move the body in a much different way than I do. Maybe it's big movements, small movements. Finding your own way. Bio-individuality. My shape may not look like yours. Some of us can take 3 steps to another person's 1 step. And that's okay. Let's all meet back here in tabletop. Look down at the hands. Notice that the fingers are separated very well. Gaze is down at the hands, knees underneath the hip points. Inhale as you press down through the left hand, right foot. Extend the right arm, left leg. Point through the fingers and the toes. Draw the belly in. Inhale. Exhale out. Inhale as you lift the arm, the leg, look up. Exhale as you bring the hand and the knee back down. Press down through the right hand, top of the left foot, extend the left arm, right leg, gaze is still down. Inhale here, exhale out. Inhale as you lift the arm, the leg, look up. Exhale as you bring the hand, the knee back down, big toes together, send the seat back to the heels, child's pose. It's challenging at times to come out of that scary place of fear and isolation, to trust yourself, to begin to steady yourself and to know what is real and what is the past. Inhale as you move forward back onto tabletop. Press down through the left hand, top of the right foot. Inhale as you extend the right arm, left leg. Again, gaze is down. You look down at your foundation, noticing this is where you are. This is the present. Inhale as you lift the arm and leg, look up. Exhale as you bring the elbow and the knee together underneath, round. Inhale as you extend, lift, look up. Exhale, bring the hand of the knee back down. Press down through the right hand, top of the left foot. Inhale, extend the left leg, right leg, left arm. The gaze is still down. Inhale, exhale out. Inhale, lift the arm, the leg, look up. Exhale as you bring the elbow and the knee underneath, round like a cat. Inhale as you extend, look up. Exhale as you bring everything back down, big toes together, send the seat back to the heels, child's pose. This time a little different. On your inhale, begin to come up on your knees, draw the arms by the side body. Inhale, look up. On your exhale, bring the hands down to the center of the chest for this gesture of prayer, Andale Mudra. Yeah, in this little mini mountain pose here. Good. We'll take a couple sun breaths here. So really pressing down with the tops of the feet here, right, to give us foundation, right, on the tops of our feet. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, look up. On our exhale, let's dive out over our body, forward fold into child's pose. Inhale as we sweep the arms out and up, come to stand on our shins, look up. Exhale as we bring the arms out in front of us into this gesture of gratitude. Inhale here. Inhale as we sweep the arms out and up, look up. On our exhale, let's twist over to the right. Arms come out shoulder distance. Allow the hips to follow you. Notice how the hips follow you. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale as you allow the arms to come back up. Exhale as you take a twist over to the left. Gaze can be out towards the side or maybe over that left shoulder. Inhale as you come back up towards center. On the exhale, allow the arms to come down by the side body. Okay. On your exhale, bring your hands to your hips. From here, you can either come into hero's pose or if you'd like, you can come to a seated position, your choice. You also can bring a blanket or a pillow underneath your knees. We'll just come here for a moment. We'll come into this gesture of gratitude, this earth mudra, right? So if you're coming into hero's pose, just simply come down onto bringing the buttocks onto the heels of the feet. You can have the toes curled. Otherwise, you can also bring a block or two blocks in between the feet, stacking two blocks in between the soles of the feet, sitting on them. Yeah. And then we'll place the right hand across the chest and the left hand fingertips touching the earth. And just pausing, bringing our breath to a natural rhythm, grounding here, taking that step to recognize, to come into awareness of noticing the support that we have. Feel free to close your eyes if that's accessible. Giving gratitude. And maybe this is where that transformation is, where there's a period of asking for help, calling out for help, and Maybe it's simply to yourself, recognizing a change, recognizing the tools within yourself. Continue to press down through the seat, whatever position you're in, and draw up through the crown of the head, keeping that spine neutral, elongated. Inhale here. Exhale out. Begin to release the hands. And then if you have any gear underneath you, you can just begin to place it off to the side, and we'll all meet in child's pose. So bring the big toes together, send the seat back to the heels, and elongate your arms nice and long. Elbows lift off the mat. Inhale as you press down through the hands. Come forward into your tabletop, curl your toes, lift your knees and your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Feel free to move about in this position. So from here in down dog, let's inhale as we come onto the balls of the feet, bending our knees, look up between your hands and just very gently walk forward one by one, all the way up to the top of the mat. And then take a wide-legged forward fold, just swaying from side to side. Maybe even drawing the chin in towards the chest, shaking the head, no. Maybe shaking the head, yes, yes. I do want community. I believe in growth. I am in charge of my healing. And then look down at your feet and begin to notice your feet. And begin to heel toe them in towards one another, maybe about hip width distance apart. And then from here, bend the knees greatly. Feel free to even rest the chest on the thighs and maybe shift your weight in towards your heels and lift the toes. Separate your toes as best you can. And then one by one, beginning with the pinky, place them on your mat. Really beginning to form a connection with your physical body. Being present here with your physical body. Feel free to lift the toes again. Separate them, bring them back down one by one. Placing them back on the mat. Press down with that big toe mound of both left and right foot. And notice as you press down, maybe you feel that little that little space. Feel free to even bring your hands to the inside of the space, the arch in your foot. Notice as you press down through the big toe, that arch lifts. Yeah. So learning about our bodies. And then now you can begin to just let your arms dangle if they're not already. Allow the top of the head to draw down towards the ground. Press down through the feet, and then as you begin to inhale, sweep the arms out and up as you draw the arms up towards the ceiling or the sky. On the exhale, bring the hands together into that prayer gesture in the front of the chest. Good. Take a smile. Good. Great. So from here, it took us a while to move into this space of being upright, the space of moving from that period of fear and being in a ball and being in that darkness to being upright and coming out. So let's start to open things up, moving the arms about in this circular motion. Feel free to, make larger circles, maybe faster, and then change the direction. And of course, as we do this, we bring synovial fluid into our joints, which as we grow older. We need this to move about freely. Good. And then let's flexion our arms at our shoulder joints. We can extend them backwards, right? Yeah. And then we can flex them laterally. So from side to side, or rather abduct and then adduct. I think I have some of my students in here. Yeah, good. So now I'm tired. So let's do the same with our feet too. Let's move our feet about, maybe even tracing the outside of our feet. See how we do about that. You know, all of this stuck stress and stuck tension, if anyone's read Body Keeps the Score, it stays here in our tissues. And so the more we get to know our body, the more that we, you know, move about these little pains that we have in our body, we're actually releasing these stresses, these tensions, and we're healing ourselves. So, you know, it can be generational, ancestral, you know, so self-massage. Okay, so let's bring our feet together, bend in our knees. We'll come into fierce pose in this static position, or rather chair, whichever you want to call it. So feet together, bend in our chair pose. Yeah, knees over the ankles or over the balls of our feet. Good. So from here, really noticing our foundation, right? Your arms can be on your hips. They can be out in your zombie looking arms here. Don't worry about the upper part. Just worry about right now your foundation. You can lift your toes again. Notice the arch. As you lift your toes, that little bitty arch, or maybe you have a large arch, high arch rather, and then you can place your toes back down. Yeah. Good. Inhale as you extend the legs and come back to stand. Good, so let's extend the arms up, look up. Let's hook our fingers at our thumbs. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Legs, go ahead and separate your feet, hip width distance. Maybe even slightly turn your feet in if that feels best for the knees. Otherwise, you can keep your feet completely parallel. Gaze now is at a neutral position, chin parallel to the ground. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale. And on the exhale, stretch over to the right side of the body. Keep pressing down with that left foot and lift up with the pinky finger of the right hand to keep that stretch elongated on that right side of the body. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale as you come back to center, look up at the hands, change the positioning of the thumbs, and then bring the head back to neutral. Draw the arms back just a bit. Good. Inhale as you lift up through the arms, and then draw the shoulder blades down. So retract, or rather depress the shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale. And on the exhale, stretch over to the left side of the body. Keep pressing down through that left foot. Inhale. Exhale out. Again, lift up through that pinky finger so you continue to have the elongation through the left, or rather right side of the body. Inhale. Exhale out. Inhale as you come back up to center, look up at the hands, and then on the exhale, draw the arms by the side body. Good, you can shake it out of it if you like. Good. All right, so now if you have that chair, you're by the couch or the bed, go ahead and bring that into on your mat at this point. We'll be here for just a bit. So we'll come into some sun salutations, right? So kind of like the crawl, walk, run phase here. Good. So we'll have the chair about a foot away from us, maybe a foot and a half. So if you have ever done chair yoga, just to give you a heads up, we're going into sun salutations with the seat facing us. So whatever is appropriate for you, please make that for yourself. All right, so come into your mountain posture. Press down through the feet. Inhale as you sweep the arms out and up, look up. Exhale as you dive out over the body, forward fold. Hands come to the seat of the chair. Inhale as you come halfway lift. Press the hands down into your seat. On the exhale, you'll come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll step back now into we'll come into downward facing dog. Okay, so pressing down into our seat, coming into downward facing dog. So simply just take a couple steps back for your downward facing dog, right? So if you've never done chair yoga, so we were just in forward fold, and then we took about 2 steps backwards for downward facing dog, and then you'll begin to draw your head in line with your arms. So I continue to press my hands into the seat of the chair, and as I press my hands into the seat of the chair, my muscles in my upper back begin to work, right? Just as we made that connection earlier in child's pose. We press down through the hands and we notice the connection in the upper back. Inhale here. And on the exhale, begin to step the feet back into your forward fold. And then you can bend the elbows and kind of dangle, kind of like a rag doll. Again, you can look up at me if you're confused. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale as you press down through the feet, begin to sweep the arms around, out and up, look up, upward reach. Exhale as the hands come down into the front of the body. Mountain pose. Good. All right. Let's move on right now to tree pose with our chair. So we'll move the chair now, or if you have your couch, you can use a table as well. You could also use a wall, whatever you have. I'll use the chair. I simply turn the chair around, right? So let's begin with our right hand, or rather left hand on the chair. Yeah. So begin to press down with the left foot. Yeah. On your inhale, press down with the ball of the right foot, lift the right heel. Exhale as you begin to lift the entire right leg. Knee comes bent, flexed, hip height. Flex that right heel, or right foot, excuse me. Inhale here. That right hand can be on the hip as well. Good. Exhale out. Inhale. And on the exhale, begin to turn that right leg out. Inhale as we come back to center. Exhale. Inhale. So we're kind of opening it up, just moving, opening and moving, opening and closing. Yeah. Keep pressing down through that standing leg. And as you press down through the foot, you lift the knee into the thigh. Good. Good. And then from here, we'll come into that tree position. So come back to neutral with the knee in line with the hip. And so option 2, bring the ball of the foot, the right foot, on the ground. You'll turn the leg out and bring the ball of the foot on the ground, and the heel will come to the ankle of the left foot, or maybe the right foot comes to the left calf, or maybe that right foot comes to the left thigh. Your choice, whichever you'd like. And then once you're there, we'll take 3 breaths. So notice needing these foundations, needing foundation and strength here, centering, finding that focus, that point ahead that's not moving. Inhale. On the exhale, come back to that neutral place with the knee out from the hip, wherever you are. And then on the exhale, bring that right foot back down to the earth. Bring the arms by the side, body back to mountain, just back to that neutral standing position. And then we'll transition to the other side. So if you have a movable chair, either move yourself or move your chair. Good. And we'll go ahead and reposition ourselves. So place your opposite hand on that opposite hip, right? And so as that hand's there, right, it's just not there for any reason. Your hand's there to give you that tactile perception, right? So it's giving you information. So it's there. So use that hand on your hips to remind you, one, to engage your glutes, right? Engage the glutes. So that entire standing leg, right? So that entire left leg is nice and engaged. Press down through the leg, lift up through the knee, engage the glutes. Inhale as you draw that, or rather right leg, I should say, and then lift the left heel. On your exhale, you'll begin to draw that left knee out from the hip, and then you'll turn the leg in and out, just to open the hip up a bit. And then whenever you're ready, and whatever position, you'll begin to place the foot where you like. And then you'll breathe a few inhales, full breaths rather, inhales and exhales. But also with that hand on the hip, you'll allow it to remind you to draw the shoulders back, lengthen across the collarbones. Inhale. Inhale as you come back to neutral, knee out from the hip, and then on the exhale, bring the foot back down to the earth, come into your mountain posture. And then from here, for sake of time, let's go ahead and place the chair off to the side and come to the top of our mat. Bring our hands up to our hips. Feet together, bend at our knees, and then place our step back with our right foot. Right foot back, preparing for warrior two. So we're at a heel to arch setup, right? Bend that front knee. And then when you are ready, extend the arms out from the shoulders. Yeah, beautiful. So again, looking down at your foundation. Remember, when we look down at where our feet are, it's helping us to be present. When we're present with our physical body, with our mind, with our breath, that is yoga, to yoke, union. But it's also keeping us in real time, helping us to stay away from triggers associated with post-traumatic stress. Keep breathing here. Inhale, drawing the breath all the way down to the belly. Remember that 3-part breath. On the exhale, draw the belly back towards the spine, drawing the breath out and down the nostrils. Good. Inhale. Exhale out. Inhale here. On the exhale, extend the knee, draw the arms up towards the ceiling, look up. Inhale as you bend the knee, draw the arms out from the shoulders, warrior two. Exhale. Inhale as you draw the arms up, extend the knee, look up. Exhale as you bend. Continue to find movement like this. So remember, inhale, you open and expand. Exhale, you close and soften. So find a movement. Maybe you come into peaceful warrior. Maybe you come into humble warrior. Maybe you don't recognize those postures. That's okay. Maybe you find your own. Stay grounded though in your foundation and move about with your breath in your own body. Right, once you learn that these tools reside within you, the breath, and observing versus reacting, and having the support and the community like you do now, not doing it alone. You can respond to the obstacles which face you above your foundation. One more breath here. Inhale. On the exhale, everyone bring your hands back to your hips. And then let's begin to turn that back foot so that we come into a high lunge. We're on the ball of our back foot. Bend that back knee and step up to meet the left. Bend both knees. Good. And then step that left foot back, and we'll set up for warrior two on the other side. Good. So this time you know where we're going. Maybe take a little more time instead of hurrying up and getting to that destination and setting up your foundation, right? So how long did it take us to get to our mat? The hardest part is showing up, right? At least for me. So I think it takes about 21 days to form a habit. So if we take more time focusing on the foundations, move about in your posture just as you did in the other. And if we notice how our breath is and the stories that maybe our mind has about the sensations, then maybe we're more diligent here during this practice. Maybe as we move through life off our mat, we'll be better apt to draw from this practice. Inhale. And on the exhale, bring the hands back to the hips. Rotate that back foot to come onto the ball of the left. Bend that back knee and then step it forward to meet the right. Arms by the side body. Come back to mountain pose. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale as you sweep the arms out and up, look up. Exhale as you dive out over the body, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as you bend the knees, place the hands, step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale as you move forward into your plank position. You can come down onto your knees, but as you exhale, bring the body all the way down onto the mat. Go ahead and set up for your baby cobra. Tops of your feet onto your mat, elbows underneath your, or over top of your wrists. Press down through the feet, tops of the hands. Inhale as you draw the head and chest forward. Inhale. Exhale out. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale. And on your exhale, come down onto your mat. Bend your elbows, bring your hands, stack them, and then bring them underneath your forehead. Place your forehead on top of them, bend your knees, and bring your legs from side to side. Just windshield wiper them, releasing the lower back. You can extend the legs long. And from here, you can simply begin to just roll over very gently onto your mat, onto the back body. And as we began with the soles of our feet on our mat, so we end. Let's draw that left knee in towards the chest. Flex that left foot, turn the left knee out, bring the left ankle onto the right thigh. And then with the left hand, draw the left thigh away from the body. So opening up that left hip. Option to stay here, or you can lift the right foot off the mat, bring the hands around the right thigh or around the right shin, your choice. Ensure that you flex that right foot, and also ensure that you keep that left thigh moving away from the torso, because the objective is to open up the left hip here. And keep breathing. This is your cool down time, moving towards your rest integration period. Still breathing, still observing, not running, not ignoring, not freezing, noticing, loving, being gentle. Inhale here. On the exhale, begin to draw your belly in towards your spine, and then allow that left foot to come over to the right side of the body. The left foot is on the ground. Extend the arms out from the shoulders and look out over the left shoulder. Gaze can also be up towards the ceiling or the sky as well. Your choice. And as we begin to quiet down and remember those sounds that you tuned into in the beginning of your practice, just remember that they were around and that you may hear them again. Inhale. On the exhale, begin to draw back to that neutral position. Place the left foot on your mat. Begin to draw the right knee in towards the chest, flex the foot, draw the right knee out, open up that right leg by pressing the right thigh out. And you know the options available to you. Take whichever is most appropriate today for you. Remembering to honor your body. Again, some of these, as we call them in yoga, these habitual patterns that we have, within our body, these physical chronic pains, maybe in the hips, where a lot of emotional distress goes, the shoulders, the jaw, lower back. As far as muscular, skeletal type pains go, they can be from, again, habitual patterns due to us avoiding stress, fleeing from stress, freezing from stress. And it's not to be shaming ourselves. Begin to draw that right foot over the left side of the body, extend the arms out. Again, option to gaze towards the ceiling, the sky, or over the right shoulder. If you turned your head before, turn it to the opposite side. Yoga is about symmetry of the body. We're looking to even our body out in the mind, in the breath, and in the physical body. And so what we do to one side, one part, one layer, we do to the other. And so just coming to one practice, just stretching for 1 minute. Will not do it. We must create a habit. We must create new neural pathways. And so we just work from the ground up as we did today. And how do we do that? We create community. We can bring in nature. We bring in fun, like hopefully we did today. We laugh and smile. But we also educate ourselves and we storytell. Inhale. And on the exhale, begin to draw back to your neutral place and take what other movement you need. And then we'll begin to find your own space for integration, your own space to come into complete pause, complete stillness. And remember, during this phase of integration, during this phase of stillness, that doesn't mean it's without, that it's absolute stillness. If there's some form of movement that must be made, please take it. Give yourself that permission. but also give yourself the permission to have this time of rest. And so we'll go through a brief yoga nidra. I will offer you a 5-part yoga nidra. And so as we did in our centering, notice the support you're on. It's always here for you. Notice the support energetically that you have. We are here with you. Notice the sounds, the temperature. Begin to notice your breath without making any changes. Just notice the inflow and the outflow of the breath. And as it moves into the body expands, creating this space, this life force energy. And as it leaves the body, it creates a softening. This inflow and outflow. And you always have this breath to come to. There's nothing you need to do. It's always here for you, never leaves you. And remember that intention, the intention to stay in a place of gratitude, character trait within yourself. What is it? What are you grateful for? Something about you, no one else, just you. It doesn't matter. It can be silly. Maybe it's even something that you're working on that you feel depleted in, or something that you feel you're without. It's okay. Be grateful for it. The more you bring it to the forefront of the mind, the more you bring energy into it, the more you turn the volume up on it. I am grateful for showing up. I am grateful for my compassion. And we'll go into a very brief body scan. There's nothing that is necessary to do except if there's any tension that you feel being held in a particular place that I call out. Feel free to attempt letting go. However, if it doesn't, then just take note, adding it to your checklist. But there's a reason, so it's okay. Just let it be. Everything's perfectly okay. And if you lose track or fall asleep, that's okay. And so beginning with the top of the head, moving to the center of the forehead. Into the space between the eyes, muscles around the eyes, and space, the nose, and the ears, the upper and lower jaw, the chin, the front throat, the back, the sides, the left and the right, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, entire spine, the left and right shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the back of the hands, the palm of the hands, all the fingers and the thumbs, the top of the chest, sides of the rib cage, sternum, the belly, the hips, left and right, pelvis, the thighs, quadriceps, hamstrings, left and right knees, tops and backs, lower legs, shins and calves, ankles, bottoms of the feet, tops of the feet, and toes. Noticing the entire front body and back body, feet, top of the head. Coming back to that space of gratitude. Space of gratitude for yourself. Maybe even saying thank you. Noticing your breath, the inflow, the outflow. That amazingness that connects us to all living things here on earth that we share. Nature. We are nature. We are one. We all are a part of, regardless of what we feel when we are in that fight, flight, freeze. We may feel alone. We may feel dark. We may feel without. Capture this moment. Remember this time. You are a part of, we are one. Notice the support you are upon. Notice the support about you, and when you feel ready, you can begin to deepen that breath, just as you did in the very beginning, drawing the breath all the way down to the belly. Noticing the sensations and allowing yourself to make movement, maybe bringing the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side, maybe even opening the arms up nice and wide, and maybe making snow angels, maybe stretching through the tips of the fingers and the tips of the toes. Just taking up a lot of space. Maybe, we are these warriors, regardless of whether you yourself were a military member or not. We are these warriors in life. Warriors, yes, strong, but also graceful. And there's this balance of strength and grace. So when you feel ready, please begin to roll onto the right side. And again, if you did not tell yourself thank you, pause and tell yourself thank you. Tell yourself that. And then you can press yourself up with your left hand and your right and come to whatever seat is most accessible for you. And we'll find our hands in actually find them in this gesture of gratitude. And actually, from here, let's go ahead and just come back to the Earth Mudra. So placing the one hand on the heart and then the left hand extended long and the fingertips on the earth here. Yeah, thanks. Good. Before I close, just to remind everyone, again, the Light a Candle events 4-part series. As I mentioned, you could head over to veteransyogaproject.org and check it out. Also on our Facebook page and Instagram. Again, it's all about post-traumatic stress and then, you know, how we use yoga. It's also, you know, to move into post-traumatic growth. And super cool that Dr. Dan's talking and Dr. Gail. I think that's really awesome to bring in, you know, race and ethnicity and how that affects us as well. Also, you can donate by texting to VYP to 707070. So that's super cool. I wanted to mention that. Anyhow, thank you so much for staying on. Thank you for joining. And thank you for showing up today. Again, like I said, that's the most challenging part. So thank you for allowing me to guide you. Thank you. I hope you feel this growth resonating within you today. And I hope you feel this light. May you be a beacon for this peace, a beacon for growth, and a beacon for light. Namaste.